the biggest needle moving free agent signing, which was also one of the more surprising moves for me, DeWanna Bonner to the Fever. That was one of the first dominoes that fell, in this offseason. And my initial surprise kind of stemmed from, y'all remember that playoff series between Connecticut and Indiana, right? And things got pretty chippy, in particular between Caitlin Clark, DeWanna Bonner. That's obviously all in the past. These are pros. They want to win. And I think DeWanna is just a really intriguing piece. If you look at the sort of the trend or theme of the Fever offseason, in my opinion, has been adding experience. And DeWanna Bonner has that. She's got a ton of playoff experience. She's obviously somebody who can score. She adds a lot to the defensive end because she's very mobile and she has a lot of length. So I think that's going to help them a lot. That was the first one. And then, if you really want to throw in just the Fever additions as a whole, they're certainly one of the teams that has overhauled their roster.
Drew, I think we both had the same one, so I'll let you take it first. Like, we were going over which ones. We're just like, I think Bonner's a 3-for-3 sweep, future Hall of Famer, absolute lock, like 15-year vet in the league. What is she, like top 5 all-time in scoring in the W? Like, that's the type of veteran presence you need to add to this emerging young core in Indiana. So, Drew, take it away, why you thought Bonner was the biggest needle mover in free agency.
Well, the market would agree, right? Because after she was signed, they went from a plus 900 to like a plus 450, plus 500. And we saw, obviously that's not entirely Bonner, but it was Bonner and Howard kind of at the same time, or like very close to the same time. So the other thing is, I just think she's such a good fit for this team as like that Iguodala role, right? That the Warriors had back in their earlier runs. And she's almost like an overqualified Iguodala though, right? Like she can guard 1 through 5. She is going to be able to kind of leg off on those really, really tough defensive assignments on any given night because they have the depth they have, right? So I really think that she's going to be in that help defense role, and because of her experience, that'll really, really help them on that end. And then she's always kind of been a bucket, right? So if you are low in the shot clock and need to dump it down to her, she can get you a good turnaround look.
She provides shooting, spacing, switchable defense, being able to play different lineups for the Fever. Like, they might be able to go small and put her at the 5 without Aaliyah Boston out there and play a lot faster. They re-signed Kelsey Mitchell. They bring in Natasha Howard. They bring in Sophie Cunningham, who's going to probably be coming off the bench from the Phoenix Mercury, who's also just someone who can wait on the wing and catch Caitlin's passes and just knock them down. Like, they have loaded up around Caitlin. Drew, you say it's similar to Warriors. I'm looking at the Spurs and being like, listen, this second-year Wemby guy is ready to go. Like, I think Caitlin Clark is at that ascension point where she's going to be top of the MVP race. We're going to talk about her in terms of stat leaders later, but the way that the Indiana Fever just made a statement around Caitlin Clark and said, like, hey, we're pushing in the chips. We're ready to win now. And DeWanna Bonner is obviously, the face of the new pieces that have come in. So obviously that's going to be the biggest needle mover in what Drew said. The market has obviously reflected that. They are completely priced as a WNBA contender this season. And so we should expect to see them with the likes of Liberty, Aces, Lynx. Like, they're in that group now. And maybe Connecticut Sun are dipping out and we have a new spot in the Final Four. But with 12 teams in the W currently and more on the way, like, Indiana is going to be a top 4-5 contending team for the next few years to come. And as long as DeWanna Bonner's there, you expect them to be a resounding force in the playoffs. Maria, I will throw it back to you. One move you did not.
Real quick before they continue, this Indiana Fever team is already in the top 4, in my opinion. They're already in the top 4, top 2. This team right here, well seasoned, as stated. First of all, shout out to the advantage, but back to what I was saying. This team is going to be well coached, well versatile, well conditioned, and they're going to be a very well proper NBA championship team. This team is going to play very well. They're going to be able to spread the ball. You add in DB, as stated. I kind of like that. You put DB, play a small lineup out there. You add someone with length who can still rebound, guard at the 5. You put Natasha at the 4, Cunningham at the 3, or Lexi. Kelsey Mitchell at the 2 with Caitlin. I mean, you can run small, get out in transition, and beat teams with speed. This team is going to beat you in so many different ways. People are not even going to be able to, like, you know how you have a week of preparation, a week of film, week of defensive of sets and things like that. Game plan is what you would call it. You're not going to be able to get a full game plan on the Indiana Fever. There's no way, especially with a coach like Coach White and a point guard like Caitlin Clark. All the pieces around Caitlin Clark, dude, you can go literally to any of those pieces, look for them to score. You can look for them to slide over to different positions. The only one that you can't move around is really Kelsey Mitchell. You can move her to the 1 maybe here and there. But when we talk about a lot of these girls, even AB, I wouldn't say you could put her at the 4, depending who their 4 is. You could even slide her to the 4 at times. If she can continue just getting better shape, it's really going to come down to her if she wants to, really be that girl this year or not. It's in her hands. You got all the pieces of the league. You have a great team. It's in your hands. You get in the best shape, and you come out and play basketball. So the Indiana Fever, to me, they're already in my top 2. I think they're going to win the championship regardless. I'm just saying top 2 just to say it, but really, I don't think there's any team that's going to compete with them. I think compete, yes, but I don't think there's going to be a full team that could guard 1 through 5. I think Indiana Fever, on the other hand, you have so many different options, they could guard 1 through 5. If they have to put a defensive lineup with Lexi Hall Cunningham out there, with DeWanna Bonner, Natasha Howard, and Caitlin Clark, or whatever the case might be, they could do that. They could do that. And it could get real tricky. So, or you add a little sneaky one like Colson instead of Caitlin, that could be a real sticky one. You're going to have to deal with some attitude. You have to deal with Lexi Hall, Cunningham, Colson, DeWanna Bonner at the 5, and Natasha Howard at the 4. Tough. So many different options. So, that's really what I got. I'm excited, man. We're going to continue here, but as far as everything they're touching, and then as far as the odds go, that's what a lot of people don't like to look into. Remember, I used to do sports betting, and I still do. I just don't really make videos on it, and I might. I know a lot of people when I was doing NBA and WNBA, they're asking about it, but it's kind of got over it a little bit as far as like putting out content for it. I have a full Discord on and stuff like that. That's besides the point. So as far as the odds go, you look from odds, okay, championship to this to that. Indiana Fever skyrocketed after they signed those pieces. And that's not even with the signing of Brianna Turner in there. Another defensive presence. I forgot about her. You could put her at the 4. You could put DB at the 5. You could really run. You could put Sophie. I forgot about that. There's options. This team is, it's kind of loaded. I'm not going to lie. It's kind of loaded. As far as having really good players in the right role. For sure, this team is stacked. So let's continue. Hear what they got to say. If not, we'll get you out of here.
Agree with throughout.
Okay, wait.
Because I have a few. Okay, what's up?
Hold on, I gotta add something to what we were just saying. Underrated. This isn't a player. The Indiana Fever may have gotten the best or one of the best coaches in the WNBA as well. And we got to remember too that Steph White was under contract with the Sun. The Fever are actually paying the Sun to have Steph White coach. Who else did Steph White coach? DeWanna Bonner. So I think we got to make sure we're giving that its proper due. But I would be remiss. I don't know if you were going to ask me this, Fiddle, but just as far as like another intriguing offseason move, very intrigued by Alyssa Thomas and Satu Sabali to Phoenix.
Not here for that right now. So that's what I got, man. And that's a great point. Hey, Coach Stephanie White, she's already, or actually, you can put it like this. DeWanna Bonner's already been in the system for Coach Stephanie White. She already knows what it's like and what it's going to be like at practice. So now she can come in and lead, make sure these guys are doing what they got to do. And this team, like I said, Coach Stephanie White's going to take this team to a championship. She's going to hold this team to a high level basketball team right here. So I'm excited. Let me know what you guys think. Shout out to The Advantage once again. I got some more content on the way. I do have to get to the gym. But until then, I'm going to catch you on the next one. I'm out.